Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey everybody, it's Ben from Ben's Brick Designs. Happy Thursday. Welcome to you who are all here on this lovely Thursday evening. Sorry, I started like 2 minutes early and I don't know what I was doing, so hopefully it didn't kick off any alerts or anything, screw anything up with your the timing of your viewing on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook or wherever you are. So yeah, hope that everybody's doing well. I'm going to try to do something real quick while we're talking and hope I can pull this off because I don't think I can because I don't have the app installed, but we're going to try. So I'm going to be talking about a few things today. First of all, the beer that I'll be drinking is going to be from our taproom growler, the Growler Bar here in Pflugerville, Texas. I'm actually going to be finishing this first. It's just a live oak hef, and then we'll be cracking into this, which is a 903 brewer. I forget what the name of it is. German Chocolate Cake Reserve. So it's an imperial milk stout, or an imperial oatmeal stout. Hi, Kodiak. It's an imperial oatmeal stout with chocolate, coconut, and pecans. So this is a German chocolate imperial oatmeal stout. So we're going to do that next. We'll let things get started first. Sign in with Google. I'm just trying to get a Slack thing going here. Los Verdes, there we are. So, a couple things. Book of Boba Fett was yesterday, and the episode was pretty much The Mandalorian. So, it was not what everybody was expecting. I think a lot of people were probably expecting a little bit of like he'd be in it for a couple of minutes, or he'd be interacting with Boba Fett and Fennec Shand and stuff like that. But it was more of a Mandalorian season 3 premiere or trailer or something. And can I remove these? Can I remove the preview? So, all right, cool. That's posted. All right, so with that said, the episode I thought was fairly entertaining. It was very fan servicey. The placement of it was not great, and I'll tell you why in a second. Why I feel that way in a second. But I would like to show you, because I don't care if I spoil this or not, because it's my stream. So a couple of things that we got built were the N1 Naboo Starfighter that was rebuilt for Din Djarin during the episode. So this is the Lego officially built an N1 Naboo Starfighter. And I think people are getting it confused. They think that N1 means it's now Din Djarin's, but it was actually called an N1 Starfighter before. Like there's no difference. So this is the one that Lego put out, and it's got Anakin on it, right? And he's got his little goggles, and he's got a wrench because he fixes things because he's good with mechanics, and it's got a little R2 in the back. Well, I basically took the exact same thing and just changed the colors, right? So it's a little more banged up. You've got some fluted, piped 2x2 rounds there. I tried to get as much silver as I could in there, but I couldn't really find a whole lot. It's got the 2 guns in the front. It's got a clear thing in the back where the R2 unit was. And I'm guessing that's to put Grogu in. Anyway, it's not a very bounty hunter-ish ship because there's nowhere to put anything. If you took out, and they apparently put in a hyperdrive. So he doesn't have to worry about a hyperdrive ring, right? to get where he needs to go. So they took out the astromech seat and put in a little bubble for probably Grogu. No space for bounties, right? But it's a very fast ship, and I think he really likes it. Okay. So that's one thing that got built, and I was very excited. I basically watched that. I watched the episode like at 7 in the morning, like before work started, and then immediately was like, what? I couldn't just sit and not do anything, so I was like immediately ran into my Lego room and was like, nope, got to build it. The other thing I built, and this is the going to be the last of the monochrome ships probably for a while, mostly because I don't have any more monochrome figures, but here's the yellow monochrome ship, and it's on a stand because it's got the stabilizers, and it's hard to put down on itself, so I had to put a little stand on it. But there's a fine line between having enough pieces to do a ship and having too many. For instance, I do have a purple figure now. Thank you, Brad's Bricks, for donating the purple figure to the cause. But I have literally like 20 purple pieces, and most of them are 1x1 round plates, so it's pretty depressing. On the other hand, I had so much yellow that I'm like, I had to cut back. Originally, this was going to be 3 engines in the back, that big wheel, that big like Technic construction wheel back there. It's going to be 3 big engines, but I wanted to put these little vents in between them, and I couldn't figure out the angle, so I was like, you know what, this is just a silly little project. Let's be simple with it. Some happy accidents, like the way those slopes kind of go around the pilot. I do like the way that I integrated the engines on the back, and I had to take out the turbines in there because they were not yellow. They were gray. I like the way these antenna fit into the grooves of this wheel. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, overall it turned out pretty good, I thought, and works really well with the rest of the theme. So next, oh, and I don't think everybody saw this one either. So here's the white monochrome thing. This is kind of a throwback a little bit to the ground vehicles. This is the Ice Planet 2000 tires. And it's just like an old, the old space radar truck kind of thing. It's got some battery packs in there with those fluted 2x2 round bricks again. Again, I had so much white, so many white bricks that I think I tried too hard to make it like make the wheels so they were on sort of cantilevered pieces, so they would kind of go over certain, be more all-terrain. And in the end, I'm like, it's just make it, just put wheels on the bottom. So there's nothing really on the bottom there. It's just do it. Just do it like classic space would do it, right? Flat vehicle, bends in the middle a little bit, got a big radar dish on the back. Bob's your uncle. So there you go. So we got white. So now I got white, blue, pink, yellow, and orange, and I'm out of figures. So if you have a figure you'd like to donate to the cause, if you have a black, red, green, or gray figure, hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter or here or somewhere, Facebook, and yeah, because that's the next thing. I'll probably do the ships without the figures. I'll just have to spend some time getting the figures. I did go to eBay. I feel a little dirty, and I did go to eBay today to buy just basically a pack of sorted purple bricks, like $20 for 200 purple bricks, random. We'll see what we get, and I'll build something out of that because I literally have nothing. I still have to get a helmet and then just use a black air tank. So the helmet's going to be $30 or something, and I was pricing the other figures in green, and they're all $20-$30. So it's kind of ridiculous. The gray doesn't seem that hard to find, but the gray torso is hard to find. Or is very expensive. The rest of them are not. Like, I probably don't even need to buy them. I'll probably have them somewhere. So let's get into designing. So since the last stream happened, I am now a part of the Los Verdes group, the supporter group that supports the Austin FC football club, the Austin Football Club. And they're all very excited about this project. So I thought we'd just jump in and do a little more work on this tonight. Now, again, there are two projects. There's the super large one that's going to be thousands of dollars and hundreds of thousands of pieces. And then there's the smaller version, which is the Lego appropriate size stadium, right? The larger one, I still want to kind of go through a tour. And I was unable to get a tour the last time because we were in stage 5 at the time and they were canceling all tours. But then somebody on the supporter group was like, oh, I run the tours, schedule one for Friday. And then I was like, okay. And I looked and I was like, $35 for a tour. I'm like, dang it. I was kind of hoping I could just, can you let me in for 10 minutes and I'll take some pictures of some angles I can't see from outside. And then that's it. I don't need to know the history of the thing. I don't need to see the locker room or the press box or anything like that. And I've said this over and over again, but yeah. So let's, I think I kind of want to work on the little one a little bit because I have a feeling that if we get some of this done, it'll look better for the group. Like it'll be a little more exciting for them to look at. The biggest problem I was having is that from some views, these chairs were different colors, but for the most part, it looks like they're all the same greens. And I was talking to a friend of mine and she was like, no, they're not. They're not all different colors. I'm like, well, they're not all different colors, but if you look at the pictures, it looks like sometimes they are different. And I apologize, I can already feel like I'm going to start coughing. I've had a kind of a rough coughing day. I think the allergies are a bit high tonight, so. But you can see, I think it's just a matter of being shaded. Like these seem a little lighter, or more green. These seem a little lighter. But I think in general, it's probably, see, these seem a little darker here than these. And there's other photos where that kind of plays out, where it just feels like certain sections are different greens. So that's kind of what I was trying to get at, is I would like to know what, here's another one. Image in new tab. So you can see, like, for some reason these seem a different color than these, and these are all different color than these, but I can't tell. Is it just an angle they're doing, or are all these like gray and dark green? Like I almost feel like these over here are the same colors, like all the way around until you get to here. But is it just the angle of the seat? What is it, right? So I thought these may have been brown and tan at one point, but they're not. So let's go ahead and fix that up. If you can select all that, and let's just say that they're hot green. Because this is the other thing I found out, is that these 1x1s in regular green are expensive. Like $1. Which, you know what? Let's double check, because I feel like maybe we did this already, but bear with me. So we do 1x1 plate, not Kate, plate. And if we looked up the different colors known, green. It doesn't seem like it'd be that expensive, but so I don't, that's just green, right? Green. Why is it saying it's so much in the software? So if I wanted to do items for sale, there's a crash course on Bricklink here. So, I mean, I could get 50 for 4 cents. That's not terrible. So maybe they would be okay. Like I don't have to do these rounds. I could do these. Wait a minute. That's what? Green and what? Bright green. Okay. Oh, these are bright green. That's what it is. Okay. My apologies. So let's do that. Let's do color. Let's see. Item for sale and then bright green. It's not even, doesn't even show as a known color. There we go. Bright green, 4 for sale, and yeah, they're $1 each. So bright green's not a popular color. So let's color some of these bright green. Let's randomly pick those and color those neon green, Fabuland pastel green, and randomly pick those. And same thing. Good enough. All right. So. And again, we're keeping, so I'm going to close that. We're keeping this kind of available to have an ATX sticker on there. It's not going to be exact, obviously, but it'll be close. I might try to make this all gray right in here just to sort of give the impression that there's some division there. So the next thing that happens is that there is a big old Jumbotron screen in here, and we can do that pretty easily with a panel. Just do like this, right? That's probably even too big. Oops. Maybe one more like this. And black. And there's your panel. And then we can put, you know, a sticker on that or something. It's got, get a sticker up. So they recently did a big Selena, like a giant graphic Selena thing. And I forget what it was for, but they hoisted it in the middle of the field either during the game or halftime or before the game. Huge fanfare for it. So we could put that up there or something. All right, so RIP your ears. Let's give this, ooh, nice smooth port here. Just gonna do 10 ounces because I think that's all I'm gonna be able to handle tonight. I'll try to refreeze that. Cheers. I have to wash these glasses in some vinegar or something because the hard water in the area I live in is just ruins glasses after a while. Ooh, that is sweet. Wow. That is something. All right. So, that happened. My goodness. What's up, Most Marvelous Mox? How are you? I'm doing well, thank you. Still working on this stadium. So, I think I'm going to be really generalized about this and just start kind of making some choices. It's not going to be, the thing is, it's not going to be like expert level building. I don't know that there's a hallway under here, right? There's, as far as I know, there probably is for like maintenance and facilities. And the if you look right here in this picture, this is where the teams come out of. Why does it do that? That's so infuriating. It's like, hey, we found this 1400 by 979 to say open new, and it goes, nope, I'm small. All right, screw you then. So here's another pretty good image of that. There we go. So yeah, right here, you can kind of see that's where the teams come out of. So technically, under here, I could make that would be the locker room, but I think it's pretty closed off. Like you have to get to it from a facilities entrance on the outside and then get down there somehow. It's not like in the model here where Camp Nou or this is Old Trafford where like this is the ticket booth, right? This is the actual entrance and you come in here and walk around and then you get into the field that way and you like come up at the bottom of the area and then get up to your seat. This is very much, this is the level, like I went ahead and did this flat area. This is the level you come in on, right? So the gate is right here. And I'll see if we can find an image that explains that a little better. So this is a good one too. So this is the zebra gate. It says zebra gate, right? So this is fairly flat, but it's still kind of sloped up. You can kind of see over here on the far side here how it slopes up. It slopes up, and here's some stairs. It slopes up to this level, right? This concourse level, which is the flat concourse level that goes all around this first level of seating, right? Here's the first level of seating right around here. And you can kind of see it bend down from here at that angle, that forced perspective. So this is your base walking area, right? This is your base walking area. So this is zebra gate right here. And then you walk down to your seats, right? So that's it. So we have to raise this whole thing up to make that happen. But then you've got this weird side stuff here. Now this is the basic footprint for the Lego football stadiums, okay? Camp Nou and Old Trafford. They're both on this sort of stretched stretch octagon. Same footprint. Camp Nou is a more rounded stadium, so they've got these leaves that they build in, and it's got like a ring of bars and clips that it kind of goes around, and so it can make this sort of rounded look. But yeah, so this whole back over here will have to be raised up. So let's try that, right? So let's get rid of this, or at least copy it and move it. It's a lot of talking and not much doing, I get it. Well, the build is, I mean, it's not my build. That's part of the reason I feel kind of bad about just using this is like, none of this stuff here is mine. This is all Lego, right? I'm just doing this to kind of proof of concept it. I don't know how else to do it. Like from the ground up, it's going to be the exact same big black sections here that I don't think I even put together really well. Yeah, those got put together wrong, so you can see that's off. Ugh. I'm gonna have to fix that. That's gonna be a problem. Well, let's try fixing it now before I go any further. Oh, can I just do that? Oh, almost. I don't want that. I don't want that. Yes, I do want that. So I don't know if you can tell. Yeah. What else did I leave behind there? That goes there. Those didn't go in right. Oh, maybe they did. Okay, so these need to go over here. Oof. What happened? Man, I messed that up real bad. So yeah, this is me trying to recreate everything, and so I built one of the stadiums in Studio, and there's a gap there, so I didn't even do this part right either. What is over here? That's weird. Okay. So, yeah, so let's do this. Put those guys in there. Those guys in there. And then we'll put these guys over here. I think that's right. Okay, now I should be able to connect these all. It's not right at all. I'm missing something. Hey, Brad, what's up? How's it going? Cheers. Cheers to you. I do apologize for not being very talkative. Let's see. I get... The alerts I get while I'm streaming are... Somebody else is going live. I'm like, I don't care. What is going on? Why is this not working? Oh, that's why. But. Okay. That's what it is. Okay. This all needs to be moved out. What it is. It's hard doing stuff upside down too, because sometimes things don't move the way you want them to. That should be right. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. And the lighting is off. This almost doesn't even matter because this is like not even part of the build. Not the important part. Like this is just the substructure. Still off. Why is that so off? Oh, my cat's yelling at me. What's my favorite color and my least favorite color in Lego? I will say my least favorite color now is sand green. And because which sucked because for a while I really liked sand green. But because the capital, so sand green and tan I don't much like anymore. The capital was all sand green and mostly tan, so I got real tired of those colors real quick. What am I missing here? Yeah, at some point everything got shifted. What is going on? But oh, it's because they need tiles over there too. Okay. Oh, this is the other thing. These things do not go. These things are terrible. They do not go in place. You have to like finagle them to go because for whatever reason the software is funky right here, and they will not go together. So this guy goes over here. Like that. And this guy goes over here like that. And this guy goes over here like that. And let's see, favorite color? Sand blue, maybe? Or dark orange. It was dark red for a while, but I think I got a little shell-shocked with all the dark red that was... there we go. Okay, now we're cooking. I was a little shocked with how much dark red was being used, or that was breaking because it was an earlier... bit of... what's the word I'm looking for? It's an earlier formula, same as like the dark or the reddish brown. So I still had a lot of dark red that was breaking. I think this goes like that. Yes. Yes, good. Okay. Okay, good. Can we put this back together now? Now this goes together and there's one pin over here which I know isn't right, but as long as that lines up, that's all I care about. Alright, so what I'm going to try to do is connect, so I can get this right. That to that. That's not right. It's not right at all. And on top of everything, I think I've got this all messed up. Wow, just nothing going right here. What? There's a whole section of stuff missing here. That's what's going on. Oh, this is just getting absolutely ridiculous. So this goes in that one. That can't be the right. So if you have a weak foundation, the rest of this is garbage because it won't go together. And even now I can see, like this section, you can see there's a break here, which means I didn't put this together right in the first place. And I didn't put it together right because I turned off collision, and you can see all the collisions in here. I turned it off because it's impossible to do some of this crap in the software if you've got collisions on. Like, I don't know what that's for. Get that out of there. I don't know what that's for either. Get that out of there. So apologies, but I'm gonna have to rebuild a lot of this. So this should be butting up against that, but that's not anywhere close to that. That should be... Yeah, that's not lined up at all. Oh, is this why? Because sometimes, yeah... No, that's right. So this goes in here. This goes in there. Then that will connect to there. And then there's a space here. So this is very exciting. This is what everybody came to see. So this is going to cover that up. And then nothing's hidden, so let's put that there. And let's put that there. And that goes there. Okay. Where does this go? There? I don't think so. Yeah, that doesn't go anywhere. Oh, it goes in the end. Okay. So this should go here. That should go there. Okay. All I really wanted to do was raise this whole sidewalk up around it, and I end up having to redo the whole substructure of this. This is why, and if you're watching, if you're one of the people from the Los Verdes group watching, then this is why this is going to take, even the small model like this is going to take 4 or 5 months. And this is building on top of an existing model. Also, I'm an amateur. I'm not a professional. So, I'll teach your grandma to suck eggs, is what I'm saying. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Least favorite part of the mock? Like, of this mock so far? Or least favorite part of doing mocks? Because right now, this whole thing is my least favorite part. Because I really botched it somewhere. And I'm trying to figure out where I botched it. So that doesn't connect at all. That's fine. God, I think it just connects by these 2 pins. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Least favorite part of mocks in general. I think my least favorite part of mocks in general is that it's such a wide... it seems like an inverted bell curve when it comes to mocks. It seems like there's really sort of... Or maybe it's kind of a flat line. Usually there's like a bell curve of... There's a lot of average sets. And this is the case with Lego too. You've got like some really small... like polybag stuff, but the majority of the stuff falls between the $20 to $100 range, right? The majority being about $60, and they're average sets. Your Havoc Marauders, your Trexler Marauders, your TIE Fighters and X-Wings and Scout Walkers and things like that. And then you've got... On the other end of the scale, you've got the really small sets like the microfighters and polybags. And on the other end, you've got like the UCS stuff. And it seems like there's a lot of the middle and then not like this. Bell curve stuff. For mocks, it seems like it's almost the other way. Like there's not a lot of average sets of mocks. And the ones that are kind of like, I made this X-Wing blue instead of red. Or I made this, which is fine. I just feel like there's not a lot of I'm tweaking or I'm making my own version of something sort of big. People really want to do, this is my UCS something, and this is my, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking to my butt here. My most favorite part of mocks is that people do them in general. I think that a lot is lost on the idea of play with Lego still, and it makes me glad to see that people are still playing to some extent. Yeah, I missed all of this stuff. Did I even try over here? So I need that. Oh no, it's over here. It's on this side. I like that people still feel like, not even designing, but just like making stuff is the important part of mocking. And in fact, I kind of get on people who collect, and I shouldn't. Like when you see those Facebook posts. Hi Brad, welcome back. The Facebook posts of like, here's my shelf of stuff I haven't opened. It's like, well, what do? I think I have a problem. And I always want to comment, yeah, your problem is you're just buying stuff to put on a shelf. That's not a problem. That's a you problem. And I always get a little butthurt, and this is a me problem. This is me being a gatekeeper about it. But like when you see things like famous person is a Lego fan, and they show their background, and they've got like 3 sets on their shelves, so everyone's like, oh, he's a Lego fan. Look at him. He collects Lego. It's like, I think he saw a couple cars that he liked. I'm talking about Orlando Bloom. I think he saw a couple cars that he liked, and he built them, or he built them with his kid. And now everyone's like, he's a Lego fan. It's like, is he? All right, so the whole reason I'm doing this is just to get this section together, and I don't even think I need like half of this stuff. I'm gonna get rid of all of it anyway. It's just frustrating to have to work around all this just to get it to work, because like all this internal structure is going away. It's all gonna be solid under here, right? Like I don't think these need to be here specifically. This is all just to make an angular shape, pretty much, and to make it sturdy and to make it light, right? If you've just filled this whole area with bricks, it would be a little heavier. If you filled it with plates, it would warp. So doing it with Technic and plates and bricks gives it a little stability. But I think I've got it sorted. This should get us where we need to be. I'm having a hard time telling if that's the case or not. There seems to be a hole in there, but that doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see those. I like building stuff. 90% of things I buy don't stay together very long. I'm with you. Like, I'm mad that I've got stuff that I haven't taken apart yet. But I've got so much to sort through that I'm afraid that just constantly taking it apart and sorting it again. I'd like to be able to take it apart and be like, take apart, put this piece here, take this off, put this piece here. That way, instead of just taking it apart into a big pile that I have to sort again. But I haven't got to that point yet. So, oh, okay. So let's save this. This is micro scale. This is to look like the current. Oh my God, this browser's giving me. So this is so it looks like this, right? This size. I want it to look like that size, right? So I'm using, because it comes with a nice field, right? A nice goal. So I'm just trying to recreate it so it looks like the Q2 stadium. This stadium is so much bigger. This stadium seats 70,000. The Camp Nou stadium seats 100,000 or like 97,000 or something. It's ridiculous. So I wanted to do like a smaller version that's like attainable, right? And apparently, and this is talking to the supporters, the supporter club, they will help fund this. Like they do all kinds of stuff where they sell scarves to raise money for things. Like they've got one now that's like a homeless outreach program, and they've raised $3,000 to just by selling scarves to do something about, training or housing or something like that. Anyway, they're very cool, very motivated people. And they've already said, we'll help raise money for this. And I'm like, yes. Oh, that was the other big news. I kind of buried the lead on that. So being part of this group, I was talking to one of the people in the group, and they're like, oh, we've raised a lot less money for dumber things. I'm like what? She's like, well, I'm not going to say what, but like they currently have this one where they're raising money for it's an outreach program. It's a homeless outreach program. Choosing to be better people and caring for others in Austin kind of thing. So yeah, so I joined the group. It's like $35 a year. So now I'm in the Slack channel and I get some swag, and so everybody's very excited. And the girl who approached me is actually a Lego builder or a collector, builder, buyer, fan. And she's like, I want to be involved in this. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this part of it, the putting it together part, is really boring and is going to take a while and is not really something multiple people can do. But let's just hope this lines up. Oh, you know what? I'm not even going to try that. But once it's done, then like if we can help build it, we can get a bunch of people to help build it. If you want to help fundraise to get all the bricks for it, that's great. That's the big hurdle, is like getting the funds for it. She's like, oh, that's not going to be a problem. I'm like, really? That seems to be the biggest problem. All right, and I'm going to try to get this as close as I can in there. So, yeah, so cool. All right. That was what? Almost an hour of like fixing my mistake. Anywho, so that's the small stadium. This is still the big stadium. And I did a little bit of work on it this afternoon, filling out these other two sections. But yeah, this is the giant stadium. And they're even talking about helping fund this. And I was like, all right, well, keep in mind, like if each of these pieces, like if I could get these pieces for like 2 cents, a cent at like a bulk thing, which I'm going to try to do. And if the project doesn't go through, then I've got a lot of these things, right? So here's an indication. That's just a 32 by 32 base plate, right? So this section right here is this section right here, right? So that bit right there is this bit. Just that. So this thing is going to be monstrous. I'm kind of jumping into it a little fast, and I kind of had the idea of how to do the seats, and I got a little carried away. So now I've got this whole section, but I have no idea how to support the section, right? You can see it's all these snot bricks just kind of stacked. So I've got to figure out a way to like get a big sloped area back here to support it. There's no support on the top of it because it's all these individual bricks. There's no support behind it because if I were to like put a plate in here in between and then like, get some more support back in here, it causes divisions out here, which look bad. So calls had to be made, right? What I could do instead of like a ton of these is like have, it might be a little more complicated, but I might go back and do it so here's, we'll just copy it and do this. So if this is one of the snot bricks and this is a seating section, let's just grab some seats. Instead of doing just like that and then have no ability to support that, right? There's no, like if I just got a bunch of stacks of this, it's hard to support. But if for another thing I was able to do plate, and if I did like this and then put the things on top of them, right? Then I could use this other area back here to put on hinges, or to have other bricks come out of the back of it to connect to other things, right? Like that. So I kind of limited myself a little bit with that. I don't want to stack the plates too high. But that's a possibility. I also thought of just doing like, the thing about having them like this, individual ones like that, is if you were to do just a plate, they bunch together and there's not really a nice division. And this, since the seats are actually taller than a single brick, a single plate would be, it makes this really squat. So it doesn't look, where did it go? It doesn't look like this. It ends up being like really smushed. So I went back and forth trying to figure out the best way to do this. And this, I feel like, is the best way to do it. But again, I could replace a lot of the backing with something like this, where I could give it a little more option to have a place to like hook onto something in the back. So I may go back in here and put in a bunch of long plates, 1x10s, stuff like that, in certain areas, just to make sure that it's stable. It also means this whole thing would get raised up a plate, and that throws some of the other things off. So also, this may not be the best way to do it. I may have to go through and from the ground up, just build and build and build until I get the right angles. And then say, you know what, screw it, I can't do it like that. It has to be tiles for seats. It has to be 1x1 plates for seats. This just looks good because it looks like folded stadium seating, right? So if you looked at it kind of close, I can get that as the center there. You know, this kind of looks like stadium seating. This is what it would look like if you were in the stadium. And I think that looks great, you know. The other thing I could use over here is Technic bricks, right? I was just going to say that. Where that's... So this could be a Technic brick, or it could be... So you don't want to get too... So you have to do brick modified... You have to do Technic brick, actually, I think. Technic brick. So I had something like this. At least it would give me options to connect to something, right? This would be great because you could have it as just axles, and it could just slide onto it, right? So if you had a frame, it's kind of hard to describe. If you had a frame that had a bunch of axles kind of poking up, right, at different locations, and then you set this section down on it and it just kind of slid into place, the Technic bricks would hold onto those axles. So you could pick that back up without pulling a pin. So it wouldn't be like stuck in there and you'd pull the whole seating area apart. You could just kind of slide it and it just go thunk. So that's something to consider. Well, and that's something that I learned from the Capitol, is the Capitol... Oh, do I dare even pull up the Capitol? Oh, wait, no. No, I'm not going to. The Capitol is a shell. The Capitol is completely hollow. In fact, yeah, I want to see if I can pull that up. So let me save this. I'm going to show you something. This is what not to do. Do I have it? Yeah. Let's see if we can just look at like the east wing, and I'll give you an idea of what it kind of looked like. So just the east wing, 7,000 pieces. You can see this is the actual build. There's nothing in here. I came back later, so this was the design. And I came back later and there's just stacks of 2x2 or 2x4s going all the way up. And I can just see 7,000 pieces is starting to make my feed look choppy. Because I put this together and it was like the roof was just sagging, but like the entirety of the building. And let's see if I can do strip 1. Okay, so yeah. So we can do strip 2. This would be a connecting section. So this is a connecting section. So like one wing is over here and then the main section's over here, but you can see I thought I was being clever with the Technic beams, but I mean this just bows so bad. And if you put any kind of pressure on this, this was actually built like that. You tip it slightly, the whole thing like folds like a cardboard box. It just goes blurk. So when we were moving this, this was actually one section. It was on a piece of wood and we were moving it out to the street and the dude who was helping me move lowered his end too fast and the whole thing just collapsed. So right in the middle of the road, we hadn't even loaded it up into the building yet and it just went funk. And I was like, well, all right, fantastic. So there's 2 of these and I don't even want to open up the full thing. But there was 5 strips. There was 2 wings, these middle sections, and then the dome was the 5th one, or the center section was the 5th one, and then the dome was by itself. The dome was very, actually pretty well put together. Like it was pretty solid. I don't know if let's see if I can split it down the middle here. But you can see it's pretty, do a little less than that. It's pretty substantial. So it's got a lot of support in there, right? But what's weird is it's weird support because these are weird like hinged pieces that go all the way around but only attach at like 4 places. So it kind of like does a lot of this. And then they don't attach up here at the top. Nothing attaches. They just bend in and then that's it. You bend them to the right space, which let me tell you how hard this is to do in studio, is to get these angles right. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And it ends up, instead of being a nice dome, it kind of bulges out a little bit at the top and there's like odd angles. Like if you looked at a picture or went and saw it in person, it would look really weird. This whole thing was being transported in one car and there's a video of it, of the aftermath. But basically when we were driving down the highway, it was in the back of an SUV, a big, like Canyonero, for lack of a better term. I forget what model it was, but a friend let us borrow it because I have a little Mazda. I couldn't have put it in there. And the school bus did like this and I had to slam on my brakes and this whole thing just went crash like a Fabergé egg and just, it was pieces all through the car. So not only did it completely come apart, but I don't know that I got all the pieces back. There may still be pieces in their car. So that was terrible. This could have been done in like 3 sections if I was smarter. You can kind of see how it went together. Like there's a bunch of hinges down here and so they're all at like 12.5 degrees or something, and then each little floret or each little panel sits on tiles underneath it, so it can be at a weird angle without having to sit on the bricks underneath it. But this whole thing could have been like a wedding cake where it's like that's one section and that's it. It's very solid, and then you just put the other one on top of it and you put the other one on top of it, so you can move these in smaller sections. That's the trick, is being able to move it in smaller sections. I'm not going to save that. Let's look at, see if we can do the center. So yeah, that's like the center roof. This was all done in a different section. So these all had to be done and then kind of laid on top of the the structure. This is why I don't like sand, green, and tan anymore, because this is all I saw for like a year and a half. That's not what I was looking for. I wanted center. Center back and roof, center front. Dome and center roof. Center front. Probably not it. Yeah, that's just one of the entrances. Lower dome roof. One of these was a big scaffolding, and that was really hard to figure out how to do. Dome base. This was it. Yeah, so this is what's inside underneath the dome, right? So this is all one strip. It was this big scaffolding, and then this just basically, there's the actual model in the Capitol. There's a metal plate right on top of this, and that's where this whole thing sits. It just sits on a plate, and then around it, the dome kind of just lays around it. So there's gaps where it doesn't actually come together. It's crazy. The fact this thing got built at all is wild. So when building something like this, I want to make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen again. But it's like, how big, how realistically can you do a model in a digital arena where you don't have to worry about gravity and you don't have to worry about friction, but you do have to worry about, there are some things that you can do in Lego that you can't do digitally without like really tweaking it. Little pushes and little ways that it kind of hangs, and little bits of pressure, friction building, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so like this area, this was like my first attempt to be like, okay, it needs to have some sort of support, right? So there's your clips and your whatever, and it lines up, it's fine. What I really need to do is test this in real life and just kind of figure out a way to do a nice big swath of seats like this. Doesn't have to be the right color. But yeah, something like this where I could get it to, that's just a brick. But if you had like another piece like this, and then you had Technic, I don't know where they put Technic Linker. Yeah. Something like this, these blue ones, right? And then, you get a couple of these. And then when it comes down to it, you just grab this whole section and it just goes dunk, and it just sits on it. It doesn't pin, it just sits on it. But then you get a whole row of those, and you get several rows of those, and you just kind of line it up and just thunk, and it just sits. That's all you got to do. So that means you can build like this whole section by itself. You can do it on a table, kind of upside down, and you put in all the Technic bits along the way, and you flip it over, and you put all the cheese wedges in, and now that sets aside. That's all you got to do. And, you get instructions to be like, this is this seating section. This is this seating section. You build all the seating sections. Then you have big chunks of the stadium itself, right? You got the field, and field is going to be plates and tiles, and that's not going to be hard. But then on each of those, you've got like substructures. You've got maybe, don't get any bigger than the base plate. So base plate by base plate. So 10 inches by 10 inches square. You just build a bunch of squares, and whatever's in that square is what's in that square. It can be an angle. It can be just substructure. It can be part of the seating. It can be anything. But you do that because you can get packing boxes that are 10 inches or 11 inches, right? And you can put everything in a box, and you can stack the boxes, and you can put them in a moving van and then go. And the good thing about that is when you open up the box, it's all the pieces may have come off, but at least you know where they all are and they're in that box. You put that together, that one's done. Versus what I did, which was take 65,000 pieces in sections of 5 and hope it doesn't fall apart and then have to rebuild it when you do. So that's the takeaway. So what we're going to be doing is like, this isn't really a base plate's worth of stuff. All this theory, all this talking, not really doing anything. But if you look, so we'd want to build a base plate's worth of stuff. And the thing that I'm going to run into a problem with is, and this has plagued me, I'm going to have to build a base plate and then a bunch of stuff on top of the base plate. Because if you don't know this already, that's your base plate. That's an actual plate. So the thickness is all messed up, right? So in order for these things to attach, you can't attach them underneath. You're going to have to make a thickness somewhere. That sounded really awkward. I'm very sorry. You're going to have to do something with, like, do you fill all this with green again? Tiles? More plates? You know, does everything sit on a base plate? So my ideal situation would be everything sits on a base plate. Green, gray, whatever. And then even if it's just layering that base plate with more green, so at least the layers, so at least it'll stay even. So the other thing I'll have to do with this whole section is replace it with a base plate, right? And I think I knew I was going to be about that big with the base plate because you can see how far up that went, and that was pretty good. So yeah, the next thing will be, you know, build a superstructure under here that's not more than this is tall. So, you know, that tall. So we're in pretty good shape because that's not much taller. So we could, the concourse, this is, I didn't even think about this. This is excellent news. The concourse for this stadium is right here. If you look at, yeah, it takes a lot of like advanced planning is the thing. I remember, so let's show this again. This is the concourse that goes all the way around it. If you look over like at an image like this, I think this is the one that F's me in the B. No, this is all right. So this is the this is the supporter section. This is the ATX, right? This is that section. This section, these guys are great. This is the Los Verdes supporter section. There's actually, I think, 2 or 3 supporter groups. I think there's one called like Austin Anthem or something. They're another supporter group, but I kind of like these guys a little more because I feel like they have more passion, right? They got more drive. I don't know the other group at all, so okay, nothing. But this is the, oh, and that's a whole different layout right there. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This right here, this line right here is the main concourse around here. This is kind of, it raises, and I've said this before, it raises up from the outside. So the field may be ground level, but at some point it raises up slightly, and then that's the concourse, and then it goes down into the seating. So when we're looking at a big thing like this, I have to remember that this isn't the bottom, right? This is the walkway that everybody's going to be sitting on. So there's going to be a lot of these plates that are built up around the stadium. And I'm pretty sure the field is going to be this big. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 by 5. I think the Capitol was 6 by 10. So this is probably going to be as big as the Capitol, if not bigger. There's not much outside of the stadium once you get past the field. So, you know, here's the field, and then the stadium kind of ends just like slightly back from it. I wish I had like a complete bird's eye view, like straight over the top. I thought I had one somewhere. Here's a pretty good shot of it. I think this is an artist rendition though, because they're assuming... Oh no, I guess there may be a little parking over here. So we've got... my kid's band director lives in the apartment that's right here. It's funny. So every time we walk, we park way over here, and then we walk through here, and then we come along in front of his apartment, and we're just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, there's no... This is kind of a good shot of it. It's not really to scale. But that's the supporters section, and, you know, this is all seating. So... what's that? Oh, this is the great area. That's like a patio section. On the back side, I think. Oh, I don't know where that is. That's that one side. Okay. Oh, yeah. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of weird whatever. But then going back to... I'm going to be done with this for now because I want to go back to the small one. Going back to the small one, it's hard to get that level... get that rise up to that concourse level without like really cranking up the size, which is why it looks funny like this. I don't know of another way to do it because you want the seating section, but the seating section's below where everybody's walking, you know, like, so this is all Old Trafford stuff. So all this can go away unless it's supporting this. Which I think I just effed myself. No, it's still there. Okay, good. Like all this window stuff can go away. As long as I keep whatever's holding this section in place. So this can all stay. Like all these little windows can go. That'll keep because it's kind of the inside of it. This would be a little easier. It's just going to be big chunks of... Like this doesn't need to be here. But I probably will put a, since this doesn't have to be hollow, I'll probably put another Technic piece in here and then just another one of those to kind of hold all that together. And what I can do out here is I can make this a little more fun in that since... outside of the stadium, this is the best look I've got on it so far. Do I have that one open somewhere? No. Okay, yeah. So this feels like the outside of the stadium, right? But in actuality, so if we're looking at the model, this is the where this, you can see this is the angled section of seating, and this is where it straightens out. So this is where it straightens out. So like right about here, that's the beginning of this gate. So you'd have to put the gate right here. And then this building would be around the edge here. And this building, this is just like this is a bar and grill, and there's like a little convenience store right here. But you can see it already slopes down. You can see the walkway slopes down, and this slopes down, and all these stairs all go all the way down here, and this is a big drop off right here into this little pond. So it does kind of sit on like a hill, and that's just hard to translate in this little area is what I'm getting at. So I mean, can these be green at all? No, that figures. They can be black. So how high up does the field go? Well, I need all that structure there to make the field such as it is. There are other pieces like this. What are they called? Facet? Let's look up facet. So that's a 4. I can do 3, and I can do 2. And I'm wondering if you could do 2 together, like close that gap a little bit, because that black it's not great. I think it's kind of ugly, actually. When I first saw that, I'm like, really? That's the best you could do? Let's see, what can these be? So these can be green. These can be dark green for $1. These can be lime or Fabulan. Oh god, that's so green. Can they be white? They can be white. They can be gray. Can they be dark gray? Dark bluish gray. These guys can only be gray and black and yeah. What about those guys? Can they be anything else? Dark green, that's it. So some combination of these, like you could run a whole thing of these guys or something, and then kind of corner it off like that. You know, something to kind of break up the monotony of all the gray, but at the same time, I don't know how much you can do and kind of, I don't know, food for thought. But that's the problem. See, even that, like, it feels like even that, you can kind of see where the seats come up and where this ends. So, like, all this can go. Don't need this guy. See, this was connected to something else up top. You can tell. So, I may keep that. I just don't know what it's connecting to. That brick. Okay. But it's connecting to it because it's doing something else, and I don't really care what it was doing. So, like, all this can go. This I'm going to keep for a little bit because there is a big building right here. So that big building may be the outer edge or close to the outer edge. That may be pretty good right there. And then this left a couple holes in here because there was stuff going on, so we can play with that. You could even to snot build and have the supports behind it. On the big one, snot build and have the supports behind it. That's the other thing is like this starts right about here. There's a big pillar like right here on each side. And they're not, like if you look, that pillar's right in the seating section. But those are the main, there's like 4 pillars. Where'd that go? There's 4 pillars in this thing. There's that one, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one. And then they also connect, like this whole roof connects on the inside, but you can see there's that one big pillar. And then they connect along here. And they connect above the buildings. So, or I can't get the angle. Yeah, I could. That'd actually be pretty good. Like, was my caps lock on? I can't tell. This doesn't have a light for caps lock. Okay, so now that's on. So brick modified, and it's one of these, and you can do like this and rotate it 45 degrees. I think that is 45. Nope. 45. Sure. And then rotate that 45. And then like tile. I don't know what I just did. 2x4 tile. Probably more colors of that than anything. So I just don't know where they'd line up. But yeah, something like that where I could clone it. That obviously doesn't fit in there perfectly, but yeah. And collision is on, so that doesn't work. But yeah, something like that. Or even better, I could get those these guys and have them rotated, and that would give me more purchase. Or jumpers, yeah. So yeah, that's something to think about too. But then what do I do with that section? It's like, there's nothing to do with that except I'd have to come up with something specific to this model that is kind of this model, right? Like there's nothing, I'd have to make it up. I'd have to make up something that's not there just to decorate it better. Come on. So, I don't know. Because I would have to go all the way around like that. And I'm okay if that's the solution, but you know. Yeah, I mean, you could totally, because there's not a lot of places that, you know, you put Q2 on the roof. This is really cool, the lenticular tree, and then the shield, the Austin FC shield is over here, so that's good. But then over here, I guess you could put the Los Verdes logo, or you could put Yeti, or you could, because it's, you know, they've got Yeti here. What is the other one? Net spend, the MLS. You could put a lot of those things along the front here. So that would be something to consider. And then the back, it's the back and nobody looks at it, you know, whatever. But on the back, maybe you could do something fun with like Austin things. Like you could kind of hollow it out. Because I don't even know what this other side looks like. I've never been over there. And they just love taking pictures of the field. Okay, so this is kind of what the other side looks like. I'm going to have to go get some pictures. This is like the clubhouse area, press box, fancy people. This is where I want to go watch a game, is this area that is like a patio. And it's like, it's all out. It's got a little bit of a roof over it, but it's like outdoors on either side. And, you know, you get drinks and stuff, but it looks really nice. Oh, there's another good shot of that side. This is under construction, though. So, yeah. I mean, there's options. Put my little Lego head on it. Put my little Bensberg Designs hat on it. That also means then I'm going to have to come up with stickers. So, all right. Well, I think I'm at a stopping point. I know it's not quite 9:30 or 10 o'clock, but I do want to... I'm not real happy with kind of how much was spent on this, how much time was spent doing this, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. I don't need any of this. Next thing is to make sure that these sections look okay, right? This is just a color change from the old Trafford. But you can tell from the seating, right, where to go. That's a pretty good look at it. You can kind of tell how it's like these two angles, right? So, and then there's like a divider in there, and I was thinking about putting like a little divider of gray in there somewhere. And then again, these sections are all weird. Like, you know, there's like a line of gray in here to connote, you know, breaks in the seating area, but it looks like it's a different color. And when I asked them about it, they didn't answer me, and I was just like, ugh, I just need the colors, people. So, I don't know. But yeah. Make sure to do these stairs over here. It's going to be fun. I think it's a nice project to have. In the meantime, again, for those who didn't see earlier, Mando's N1 Starfighter. There are things you could do on this. I'll put the build camera up again real quick. Build camera. There are still things you could do on this. I think this back end doesn't need this. I just copied the Anakin's version, I want that screwdriver back, but you can put anything over here. You could put just like a bunch of 1x1 round plates. That would make it okay. The conical section you can kind of break into a couple, sections of things, like with the truncated cone and a fez or something to give it, like it breaks up a little bit. If you can find more silver metal pieces, better. That's better for it too, especially like right here with those slopes, or if you have any of this stuff that's silver metal, like I tried to do here. If you can throw in dashes of yellow along here or along here, which I might try to do, that'd be good. I might also try to cover these blaster bits up a little bit. And then the fronts are more intakes than solid cones. So if you put like a truncated cone there, or you could flip this around and have it be like an open thing and just reverse all this stuff. Either way, it gets good. Yeah, I bet we get a set of this too. So, but that's it. Thanks, guys. And I'll see you on Sunday. We'll probably just do more of this. I don't know. But I will talk to you all later. Have a very good night, and peace out.